What's up, everybody? We're back with another review of Retrograde Infinitum. We are on episode 8 today. A hologram.
There goes my hand glitching.
Yeah, hologram. We're on episode 8, Explosive Intervention. Man, this episode was really fun. This episode had a lot going on for it. I don't know if Cat's stressing me out or I really love him. It's one or the other. It's hard one of the other, and I have not decided yet. Pippin is a man of chaos, and you can tell. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the episode review. Grant starts out, and the only reason I brought this up is because Grant did a really good review this episode. Like he detailed, wrote a lot of things out. He explained a lot of things, and as soon as I was like, man, is this getting too long? It was over, and I was like, good job, Grant, on that review. You updated me on a lot of stuff that needed to be updated on. They try to figure out what their next move is. Go after Todd now, or head to the quarantine area and deal with Todd later. Cat has a plan, but it's not the best plan. I mean, it was super basic. We get the car.
It was a plan.
We get the car, we go shoot Todd, then we go to the quarantine zone.
No, masks, then car.
Oh yeah, can't forget the
Todd.
mask. Mask is the important part.
Yeah, because it makes it so they're not recognizable.
But eventually they head off to the Hawk and they talk to Kellen. Alright, so this is where we get into a lot of information about the world. I hate when Grant drops, when Grant drops these information nuggets, and it's just like, okay, let's try to break this down. But they inform Kellen of what's going on. Noka is having sex with Dan, they're on the same job, blah blah blah. Rogers might be a little jealous, but Kellen tells them about getting into the quarantine zone. It's not going to be easy, but you have basically two choices. And I think she said you can go over the wall or you can go under the wall.
No, they're both over the wall. One is rappelling down, the other one is stealing an AV and flying over.
Okay. So I know she said you can steal an AV but you would have to get it from a B.
Yep.
The helicarrier or whatever. So they ended up going that route because they didn't want to because apparently one way was going to be easier to get in but not easier to get out, and then there's going to be vice versa the other way. So they were like, we'd rather safely go over the wall and be able to get out.
Not to mention, think though, if they steal the AV and they're successful and it doesn't get shot down, they can put that aside and have it for later use.
I think they talked about that and they were like, we can't use this again. Like, it is a cop car.
They did say they couldn't use it again, but then again, there might be another use for it.
Yeah. It's always good to have a flying car.
I'm sorry. I am sitting here starting to get into the mindset of I'm going to set people up. We're going to see where it goes.
Kellen thinks splitting the prize with Dan might be the best option, because if Dan wants it, apparently Dan's like this big well-known guy who has like a lot of street cred and all that stuff. So she was like, if Dan's in our way, we might as well work with him so we can like split the prize. And then they were like, what if Dan wants the same thing you want? And then she was like, well, we'll have to deal with that when we come to that. But I mean, anything for more Roger and Noka time, huh?
But while they're talking about this, that there is a big risk that maybe Dan doesn't want exactly the same thing. Maybe he's trying to get the keys for an ulterior motive.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't know what Dan wants. It hasn't been.
We haven't met him.
No, not at all.
I want to meet him.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in what Dan wants and why he's like all in this business. But until we find that out, Until we find that out, then we're just going to be speculating. But once they decided that they're going to go over the wall, they find out that they need a BAV helicarrier. Anything else would be shot down trying to go over the wall. So we know that this is a quarantine area. Who's doing the shooting down of vehicles in the sky? Because I thought this was the quarantine area to keep the zombies in.
Yeah, but I think the things or the people that would be shooting people down would be Corpo, because that's actually brought up.
Okay. And then Kellen starts talking about she knew a guy who can clone himself. And
why are you looking at me like that?
And it was Nivets, and I was like, wait, is Kellen talking about Nivets? Like, does she remember the old world? Does she remember so that is and then she casually kept bringing up stuff and references to the old world, to the first campaign. So I'm just like, did they reset Kellen's brain? Because they love Kellen. Kellen was just like a member of the crew. So would they reset her brain?
So
you already did the face.
No, I am not doing any spoilers. I just read my note on something, and this is where you're gonna hate me, because this right here, when Kellen starts bringing up all this stuff and the fact that New City does not have magic.
Yeah.
Which, this is when I started getting the idea that this world is not real. This is the simulation. The dealer is the elf lady from the tower. The moon is the station where the bodies are plugged in. And which is why the dealer and the elf, which are the dreamers,
because they came
and
from
that's why they hate the moon.
That's a good theory. I can tell you thought on
that. It's a theory.
It's a good theory.
I had seriously after this episode, I sat up thinking about this, and that is where my brain kept going to, is that, is it something about that? And I can't remember the elf lady's name, and it makes me so mad. I know it starts with an L. Grant's gonna kill me for that, but So I'm actually thinking that this is one of the simulations. I'm not saying that everything is in the simulation, because if you go back to campaign 1, not everybody in the simulation was an actual person. They were actually programmed, and if they found out they were in the simulation, that's whenever they would quote unquote wake up, and when they would wake up, it would make them go crazy, aka cyber sickness. It's just my theory.
Like I said, it's a good theory. It's a really good theory. But yeah, Kellen does talk about magic, and it makes me think that key people have, we've only met 3 key people. But they've all we could use magic before, but we can't use magic now.
Yeah.
So
but the other reason that I'm saying the simulation thing, okay, when the dealer's asked about anything, when Kellen is asked about anything, they don't fully tell the whole story. They leave bits and pieces out, as if not to let the other people that they're talking to know that they're not real.
Yeah,
At least that's how my brain is going with it.
Yeah, and I totally get that, and I'm on that bandwagon of this could be a simulation, because like I said,
I hope it's not.
There's key people that they're like, the world used to be a lot different, and they remember things happening and them being able to cast magic. So again, I'm not as good as you of figuring out who these people were besides Kellen, because Kellen is Kellen, but the dealer or the archivist or even the next guy, who could they be in the campaign 1? So I'm thinking that they kept these key people's memories active and then reset everybody else.
Yeah, I'm going there with that. So Kellen is Kellen. I'm saying that the dealer is I want to say her name was Liara.
That sounds familiar.
I think it was Liara. I'm not sure, but that's the one I'm going with that. And I mean, the other ones we'll find out when we meet them.
So yeah,
If
we find out that they solidify a plan that they are going to steal the AV. Kellen tells them everything they need to do to steal this AV. Tell them that she has a fixer, a net runner that they can meet up with called Grinner. Tells that they will need a fixer. I think that's when they asked Lumi, and then they were like, Lumi can't do this, or they asked
Cece looked at Kellen and was like, so since you didn't say Lumi, I guess she can't go, right? And Kellen's like, no. just no.
I feel like that means somebody's gonna die. And the DM was trying to avoid that. Somebody named Grinner is joining them. Sapphire, we found out that Sapphire's name isn't Sapphire. I was so upset. I mean, whatever.
And we still don't know her name, but now you see why I wanted you to get to this episode. There are things.
The gang asks about the vampire in the other room. They kind of ask Kellen if she ever ran into a vampire, because since she's talking about magic and everything, she starts to talk about Graham from campaign 1, the vampire Graham, and this is why I'm like, yeah, this is starting to sound a little suspicious. What's going on here? Because she goes into like, well, and I felt like this is the DM being like, this is gonna come up to bite you in the ass. It's like, well, they never killed that vampire.
You know, I knew that was going to come back and bite somebody in the ass. I'm surprised it didn't happen in campaign 1. So, we're talking about the vampire. So, this is whenever they spoogle the vampire. Kellen talks about tarot mumbo jumbo. This is when the little boy pops up and Kat starts waving at him.
Yeah, then everybody immediately starts questioning what Kat is doing, and I felt like this was the player moment. Like, will you tell us what's going on? But Kat's like,
everybody was like, what in the world?
Kat was like, there's a little boy right there, and nobody can see the boy. Kat ends up taking a picture of the boy, and then he's on the picture. Was it his TV screen, or was, like, I don't know. I always
they didn't describe that, so I kind of wondered that too. Like, did it just pop up, or did he use his agent? It's not a phone, it's an agent.
I always pictured Kat having this old time flash photography camera that prints out the little Polaroids at the bottom.
So he's got a freaking Polaroid.
And then he just fans it, and then it's like, look at the picture I took. But I think
now we need an animation of Kat shaking it like a Polaroid picture, because I'm sorry, that's just where my head went.
I think early in the episode he said it's because when he showed Cece the dead body, it was on his screen. But so I guess that's how he does it. But anyway, everybody sees the boy in the Polaroid. Everybody freaks out. Roger freaks out, and then he's like, "Ghost boy," and that whole thing. And then Kellen just kind of brushes it off, like if he believes he sees it and he takes a picture of it, then of course it's gonna be there because he's a robot. Calms everybody down a little bit, but I feel like Sapphire is kind of a little worried about that. Then they go back to the plan. Kat.
Oh, it wasn't Sapphire, it was Cece. Cece was freaked the hell out.
Oh, yeah. Kat let Sapphire drive Rhonda. He was like, hey, you can drive Rhonda if you want to. The only person he really trusts to drive Rhonda. And
she's the only responsible one. Hold on, let me rephrase that. I think Cece is responsible, but at the moment she's been hit with a car. She's been through some shit.
At this point, I would be scared to let Cece drive my car because of luck. Her rolls have been awful.
I would be scared to let Cece drive a remote control car because of her rolls.
They head out to kill Todd. They get to the area and they check out the block and they see things going on. They see like it's in a like nice little neighborhood strip district type thing. I think it was in a shop area or whatever. A laundromat. Wasn't it a laundromat?
Clearance clothing cleaners.
There we go. There we go. This is why I keep you around, Faye.
I went to the Discord and checked it out because I got Grant to make sure to type it out for me.
They find the place where Todd is, and they find out that he has a family, he has kids. So everybody's like, "Do you still want to do this?" Cece's like, "Let's go. Let's go kill this man right now. Put the hoods down."
Okay, so right now, in my notes before we get started, my notes specifically states, and I am taking these, I do remember taking these as I listened to it the first time. It says, "On the road again, please don't wreck Rhonda." Next note says, "The plan is get into the stolen car with the mask on, and then boom boom." Just remember that for later on.
Okay. Cece's ready to go to get Todd, but then things get thought out a little bit better than what she was ready to do. They all head into Todd's shop, and we find out that this shop sounds delightful. It has a beautiful atmosphere. Todd welcomes people as they walk in.
You missed something.
Okay.
Did you not see his family that left the shop beforehand?
Yeah, that's what I said before. Todd had a family and stuff. I think the little kid walked out.
His wife and 7 children.
7? I missed that one.
7 children.
Grant was laying it on thick, thinking these murder hobos were going to care.
Yeah.
But they all head into Todd's shop, and it sounds like a wonderful business. I would support this small business. Todd sounds like a really cool dude. I mean, please, this whole time I was like, please don't kill Todd. Please just talk to this man and tell him the situation and be like, hey, these crazy people are gonna kill you if you don't stop. Because the dealer was just like, get him to stop selling stuff.
He did say that, but he specifically said he would prefer it if he was dead.
Yeah, but I mean,
and while I do agree with you about the whole Todd situation, he just seemed a little too nice.
Yeah, job's
just a little too nice. I have a theory.
You have a problem with like too nice people, and
I like chaos.
I'm pretty sure Grant was just trying to lay on the thickness of, this is a nice guy that you guys are about to kill who supports his family.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. So after listening to this episode, I typed out part of my theory and I did the spoilers in chat, and Grant told me I had him figured out.
I, for one, would have been the player to be like, we're not killing Todd. I don't care what you guys, we're not about to kill Todd. I don't know, but anyway.
Fuck that raccoon.
And then he's a little cute raccoon. I mean, we're not about to kill Todd. What are you?
Fuck that raccoon.
Me and Kat would have had a fight right there. Like, me and Kat would have fought.
You would have lost. You would have lost. Kat has a freaking rocket launcher.
Okay, we'll get into that later. Todd, they started to try to like talk Todd into coming back to the car to check out stuff, and Todd's just like, nah, I don't do drugs and I don't want to get in trouble. I promised my wife I would stay out of trouble. Again, Grant landed on thick. But Roger ends up talking him into letting his guards go to the car. And so he was like, yeah, the guards can go to the car and check out whatever you want them to see. They go back to the car with Roger. It's 3 guards. And he immediately pulls out his guitar and starts riffing on it. And they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then Roger's like,
everybody's confused. Everybody is confused at first. They're like, what the hell?
Yeah, at first, yeah. But he rolled like a 34 or something. Like,
I don't know who was more confused, the guards or the crew.
Yeah,
because this was not the plan.
Yeah, they were like, what are you doing, Roger? And then he was like, I'm distracting them so you can go in. And they were kind of like, oh yeah. So Sapphire ends up staying with Roger, and then Kat and Cece goes inside to have words with Todd.
Cece removes her mask. Of all things. And this is probably the first time I actually agree with Kat, because while I do like Kat, he scares me a little. Just a little. But I am confused. Kat is confused. Why the hell did you just take your mask off? The whole point of this was so you could not be seen.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion there. She took her mask off or whatever, but Kat and Cece head inside and they see Todd. Todd greets them, like, and then Kat confirms that he's Todd and immediately shoots a rocket launcher at this man. And he doesn't even have a chance. Surprise round, Todd is blown to bits.
Todd is a stain. Mission over.
I was so hurt because I like Todd. I really did. And I just wanted maybe some conversations with Todd to go down. But yeah, Cece's going to need a lot of therapy after this one. She lost so much humanity. She rolls high when it's bad for her, and she rolls low when it's good for her.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read my next, because we're going in order here. My next note is, he stuck to the plan. Kat stuck to his plan. He kept his mask on. He went in. Boom, boom. Todd's dead.
Roger continues to distract the guards quite professionally, might I add here. He rolled pretty high.
He did really dang good with that. It's a shame he couldn't get Todd to go out there.
And we walk into combat here. It's a very little short combat here, but we are in combat. Kat walks back to the car, casually walks back to the car with this rocket launcher that he just used to blow up this family's home and shop. I imagine like a Bob's Burger type thing going on. They lived on the top, and then the rest, the business left on the bottom.
Unless they were going to see somebody else, who knows?
Yeah, they left. One of the guards is up next. He knocks the rocket launcher out of Kat's hands. The next guard runs and picks it up. Sapphire walks into the store, and she sees how bad Cece is, and she sees Todd, or what's left of him. Next up, there's a pyro guard, and he sprays gasoline near or on Roger, and he also hits Kat and Roger with this flamethrower attack, which was pretty cool. Cece shoots at the flamethrower guy, and by surprise, she does hit. Roger drops his keytar and pulls out his shotgun and misses, and then he runs down the street on fire. Kat is up next. He shoots the pyro guy. He hits. He hits and he kills him, actually. And then he tells everyone if they leave now and drop the rocket launcher, they won't be killed. They mull it over for a second because, I mean, they really killed a cool boss. Like, they like that boss. They end up dropping the rocket launcher and leaving. Inside, Sapphire finds the laptop and destroys it, throws it in the fire, and that is dealt with. They all fight about what happens next because they are out of combat at this point. They kind of have a little fight about what happens next. My favorite part right here is Sapphire tells off Kat. Because Kat clearly does what he wants to do.
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you there. Kat made a plan. The problem with the plan is that not everybody else was on track with the plan. They all thought the plan was, something different.
Yes.
So the problem is not Kat. And I understand Sapphire. I understand Sapphire being mad and angry at him, but the problem is their plan making. Not everybody was on the same page, so I'm not going to blame him, but I'm also not going to blame anybody else.
You walked into a shop and used a rocket launcher at close proximity with an ally right next to you.
That was his plan the whole time. He straight up said it in the very beginning of the episode. His plan was mass, car, boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Did I not?
Boom, boom could be anything. Like you.
No. If he's shooting with a gun, it's pew pew. Just like when he's driving a car, it's vroom vroom. Come on. He's specific.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree here, because just like how you love Cat, I love Sapphire. So
I'm not saying she's wrong. She's 100% right. But at the same time, she does say we need to make better plans, which is where she's also right. Because not everybody was on the same. Not everybody was on the same plan.
I mean, nobody was on the same page on this mission. And Grant even said, I think this is time for a little bit of team building.
Yes, yes he did. That's why I'm like, I'm not mad at Cat, because he stuck to the plan that he said. You can be mad all you want. Because I already have a theory about this freaking raccoon family, because Todd was just the middleman, so technically I don't think he should have died. Because the big boss person was the one that left, which was the wife and children.
Maybe.
Go check the Discord. Check the Discord.
Well, it sounds like you have spoilers I don't have access to.
It wasn't a spoiler. I mean, it's just I said something about it as a joke, and Grant kind of confirmed part of it. So.
But. So Sapphire ends up telling off Cat, and just kind of everybody's just like in disarray of like, well, you said you were going to do this, and we said we're going to do this, and what the hell were you doing? But Cat takes everybody home in the car, and everybody goes to their respective households. Sapphire goes back to her destroyed house. Roger goes back to his super clean house, bachelor pad. Cece, I don't really remember where they said Cece went.
I don't know if she went back to her place or back to the Hawk's Landing. I don't remember.
No, I remember she paid her rent though, and she was like, "I'm not paying the extra $200." But
so maybe she went back to her place.
Yeah, because she talked to her landlord or whatever. We do some workshop lifestyle updates, and that's where like CC pays a rent, Roger paid, like everybody paid their rent, did stuff that they needed to do, and then Sapphire ends up pulling the tech from the bodies, like Callus and I think Bruce and all the other bodies she had. So
yes, she did.
She did that, and that is where the episode ends. This episode had me upset for a lot of different reasons. Not like it was a bad episode. It was actually a pretty good episode, but I was upset about a lot of different things here. 10?
Yes.
What about 10?
It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh, it's a 10 out of 10 for you. Okay.
Yes, there was a lot of drama, and I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for the drama. I just didn't want Todd to die, so it's a 9 out of 10 for me. There should have been a
technically
second option.
The dealer wanted him dead to prove a point.
So
and I'm sorry, but if he's gonna sit here and say, hey, I'm gonna give you this job, if you go kill Todd, I will throw Noka off the track and tell her to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, each his own. Like I said, I'm more of a white knight. I'm gonna like, God, is this guy that bad? He's got a family? But I mean, it's cyberpunk, so people die every day. It is what it is. I'm
gonna tell you right now, the family is the bad part.
Okay.
The mama raccoon, I think she's gonna wind up being the big bad. She's who I'm saying is the big bad out of this whole thing.
Okay.
Hold on. If you listen to Sanity Damage, she is my body nook because he's the big bad too. And so is Zanzibar.
Yeah. Zanzibar's just a lovable horse that can turn into a man.
No, that's not that. That's Strudel.
Strudel. Zanzibar is the guy, the salesman guy. Yeah.
Yes. He is the big bad.
Okay, I'll give you that one. But this is not a Power Word Fail episode. We keep doing that. But yeah, it is a 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, I enjoyed the episode. Some things did piss me off. Some things did like me, but it was a good episode. 9 out of 10 for me.
It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry. We had a rocket launcher and it got shot. That's all I needed.
When he was calculating the range on that rocket launcher, and I really didn't know how big that store was. I was just expecting him to be like, well, Cece died, because she even said she was walking in front of Kat.
Okay, I will say this. Before I found out that it only hit Todd, I was scared and I was upset because I thought Cece was in trouble.
Yeah.
And then when I found out that it only hit Todd, I'm like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, but I was really happy. Anyway, do you have any closing remarks about the episode or anything?
No, it was just a really good episode.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to our Retrograde Infinitum review. This has been episode 8. We hope that you enjoyed. Come hang out with us in the Discord. Come hang out with the Homebrew cast in the Discord. But
spoilers in the Discord.
Yeah, there's tons of spoilers, but there's redacted text in the Discord. There's black line text, so you have to click on it to see the spoiler. But yeah, we hopefully you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.